Hello friends, this video on applications of biotechnology part 1 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Topics to be covered in this lesson are biotechnological applications in agriculture, biotechnological applications in medicine, transgenic animals, and ethical issues. So in our previous lesson, we spoke about the basic concepts of biotechnology. We spoke about the recombinant DNA technology or the genetic engineering. Now here we will see how this technique helps us, how this technique is applied in different fields, like how it helps in agriculture, how it helps in preparing medicines. So we will basically look at the application part of whatever we have studied in the previous lesson. Now, biotechnology can be very useful in fields of agriculture and medicine. Now, these are two very important fields. Like agriculture, for example, if you consider our country, so India is an agricultural country where more than 50% of the population is dependent on agriculture. In fact, we all depend on agriculture because that is from where we get our food. So if we can bring about some improvement in the field of agriculture, that's going to be really good. So biotechnology helps in agriculture and medicine. Obviously, everybody wants to stay healthy. We want to treat the most deadly diseases as well. And in preparing medicines, biotechnology again plays a very important role. So these are the two major areas where biotechnology has been found to be extremely useful. So as I said, agriculture and medicines. So here in this lesson, we will first talk about the application of biotechnology in agriculture, how exactly it helps to improve the agriculture. That means maybe improving the crop productivity, improving the quality of crops, or making the crops resistant from diseases so that the crops do not get spoiled by pests or insects. So we will look into the details of its agricultural application, and then we will look at its usefulness in the field of medicine, how it can be used to develop different types of medicine. So first we'll talk about biotechnology in agriculture. Now, as I mentioned just now, that India is an agricultural country. So what do we mean when we say that it is an agricultural country? That means 62% of the population of our country is employed in agriculture. So that means these 62% of the population, they not only derive their food from agriculture, but their employment or their earning comes from agriculture. And if you look at the percentage, it's huge. So out of 100 people, 62 of them are dependent on agriculture. So if there is no agriculture, this 62% of the population, they are going to be adversely affected directly. Now, as I said, that agriculture is something on which all of us are indirectly dependent. But since more than 50% of the population is also directly dependent, so it is very important to take care of the agriculture sector. Now also, biotechnology can greatly enhance the food production, because if you see the way our population is increasing, so from few to many, so the population is continuously increasing. Now these days even the government has come up with schemes like wherein a couple should not have more than 2 kids so that the population can be controlled. But still we see that the population is continuously increasing. Now, when the population is increasing, we need to make sure that food is being provided to the increasing population. So, the way population is increasing, in a similar way, the production of food also needs to increase. So, what can we do to enhance food production? So, that is where biotechnology proves to be helpful. So biotechnology has come up with techniques by which we can greatly increase the production of food. So that is what we will see in this particular section, that how exactly the food production can be increased using biotechnology. So how to increase the food production? Now we will look at some of the techniques or some of the methods which can be used to increase food production. So the first one is organic agriculture. Now what do we mean by organic agriculture? So let's see. It is an ecological production management system. Now, what happens in organic agriculture? Now, many of you would have heard of organic food. So these days you often have supermarkets which say that we only sell organic vegetables and fruits. So what does that organic mean? Now, organic agriculture would mean the type of agriculture which is done with minimum of farm inputs. That means with minimum use of fertilizers, purchased feed or diesel, so without using lot of chemicals. So these kind of food are being produced, so that is said to be organic agriculture. So how does it help us? It promotes and enhances biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity. So big terms they are. Well, you will be able to understand them very soon. Now, what do we mean by biological cycles? Now, when I say biological cycles, there are certain cycles. Like you would have heard of life cycle, right? What is a life cycle? It is nothing but a series or a sequence of changes that an organism undergoes returning to the starting state. Like every organism will undergo a series of change. For example, if you talk about human beings, so in our entire life cycle, we are first born as small tiny babies, and then we gradually grow up to form an adult, and then we again grow to form an old a person, and that's how the cycle continues. And then the person dies, and then again he takes birth. So it is the entire life cycle, that is the series of changes which take place or which an organism undergoes, and finally it returns to the same state. So that is known as a life cycle. So when we say biological cycle, now there are certain compounds or certain elements which are present in our atmosphere. They also undergo their cycle. For example, you would have heard of carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle. So these are the examples of gaseous cycles. So when you talk about biological cycles, you have gaseous cycles because there are many gases which again they also get converted into many different forms, and then finally they come back to their original form. So in gaseous cycle, you can take the example of carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, etc. Similarly, in case of sedimentary cycles, you can take the example of sulfur cycle, how the element sulfur is being converted from one form to another in our atmosphere. So these are the various biological cycles. So with the use of, when organic agriculture is put into practice, now we are trying to use minimum fertilizers and chemicals. So as a result, all these biological cycles remain unaffected, because the more fertilizers and more pesticides, etc. we use, it is going to have an adverse effect on the environment. So that ways, this can actually help in preventing or keeping the environment neat and clean. So that is one thing. The next thing is biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Biodiversity means bio means life, diversity means variety. So organic agriculture can also promote a variety of life forms. Now you would have seen that when too much of fertilizers or pesticides are being used, what happens is when you want to grow a particular type of plant, you just grow that plant and you put fertilizers to enhance its growth. At the same time, you put insecticides or pesticides to kill all other small plants which might be present in that area, because you do not want any competition to your desired plant. So that means you basically kill the variety of life. Instead, you focus on only that variety of life which you want. Whereas with organic agriculture, it would promote and it would increase the variety of life forms. So biodiversity would be enhanced. Soil biological activity will also be enhanced, because as I said, whenever you are using off-farm inputs, that means only non-farm inputs are being used, so the quality of your soil will also be maintained and the soil biological activity will also be increased. So these are some of the advantages with organic agriculture. Now, the question is, will organic agriculture be able to increase the food production? Well, now it can ensure that there is less pollution to the environment. It can ensure that there are a variety of life forms, But does it ensure that the quantity of food that will be produced that will increase greatly? Well, not really, because it cannot, this particular concept of organic agriculture can't really meet the needs of the growing population, because the population is actually growing very fast. So let us see what are the other methods. So as I said, in organic agriculture, we use minimum, we emphasize on minimum use of off-farm inputs, and off-farm inputs are non-farm inputs. The next one is agrochemical based agriculture. Now what is agrochemical based? Now agro is derived from the word agriculture, and chemical we know that is chemicals. So it is like agriculture with chemicals. So here chemical substances that are used in agricultural ecosystem. So we make use of chemical substances in order to get better productivity from the plants. So what are the chemical substances which we are talking about? So these chemical substances could be chemical fertilizers, it could be herbicides, insecticides, pesticides. So they all fall under these chemical substances. And if you see, most of them are not just a single chemical, but they are a mixture of several chemicals. So now what happens when we use these chemicals? Now firstly, these chemicals, there are certain ingredients. Now since they are made up of a mixture of chemicals, some of the ingredients are active and they produce the desired effect. That means the effect which we want. For example, if we spray pesticides on a plant in order to kill the neighboring weeds, so what happens is, inside that pesticide, whichever constituents are active, they will give that desired effect. But at the same time, there are certain other ingredients also present in the particular pesticides, right? So in every chemical substances, I mean in every fertilizer or pesticides, there are both active ingredients as well as inactive ingredients. So active ingredients will directly produce the desired effect, whereas the inactive ingredients will help in application of the active ingredients. Now the question is, with the use of chemicals, we can actually increase the productivity. If you ask me whether the food production can be increased or not, then the answer would be yes to some extent, because when we make use of these pesticides, insecticides, we can actually directly kill the insects which might have spoiled the crop, or the pests. We can, if we use chemical fertilizers, that can directly impact, because fertilizers directly provide all the essential nutrients to the plant. So obviously the productivity will increase. But then what is the disadvantage associated with it? It is very expensive for farmers who are present in developing countries. So the disadvantage with agrochemical based agriculture is, one is it is expensive. So if you consider, or if you think of a country like India, where the farmers are not that well off, so here they cannot afford such expensive methods of agriculture, because they cannot afford to buy so much of chemical fertilizers or pesticides or insecticides. So that means it is an expensive method. Secondly, it has harmful effects on the environment. So it is harmful to the environment, because here if you see, so many strong chemicals are being used, but at the end of the day, all these plants or crops are present in our ecosystem. So now when we make use of such poisonous substances, so not only the unwanted life is being killed, so there are many other life forms which also gets killed due to the use of excessive chemicals. It can also cause soil pollution, because when you put these chemicals to the plant, it gradually or eventually reaches the soil. Now when it reaches the soil, it can cause soil pollution. It can also in turn cause water pollution. So that means the agrochemical based agriculture is harmful to the environment. So these are the disadvantages. Now disadvantage of organic agriculture is it cannot meet needs of growing population. So can't meet the needs of growing population. So that is the disadvantage of organic agriculture. So there is another way to increase the food production, and that is genetically engineered crop based agriculture. And the third approach is genetically engineered crop-based agriculture. Now, what do we mean by genetically engineered crop? By now, all of you are aware of the process of genetic engineering. So, what do? We try to prepare a recombinant DNA. That means we take particular gene or our desirable genes from one organism or from one plant and then put those genes into another plant so that the other plant will show the characteristics of that desired genes as well. So many crops can be genetically engineered, like it is like mix and match of the characteristics of different plants. For example, you can have the banana peel, but inside you can have a corn. You can have a tomato, but from inside it might be like an apple. So those kind of mix and match between different plants could be done. And this genetically engineered crop was found to increase the food production to a great extent. So genetically modified crops to increase the yield. So here you can see the cotton plant. So one is non-transgenic, that means not modified. The other one is the genetically modified cotton plant. Now, most of the genetically modified plants, they are resistant to pests, insecticides, insects, and that is how they are more tolerant and more strong and resistant. So, these are some of the advantages of genetically modified crops. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more educational videos with a better experience. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for latest updates. Thank you once again.